In this video, we will learn about propagation of sound. We have studied how sound is produced by different objects and human beings. Now, we will study how the sound produced by an object actually reaches us. So, sound, first of all, needs a material medium to propagate. Means sound need something medium, which is called as medium, in order to travel. The sound waves produced by vibrating an object travel in all directions through a material medium like air, water, or solids. This is called as propagation of sound or simply traveling of sound. Sound waves can't propagate or cannot travel if there is no material medium like air, water, or solid. Now let's perform an activity to understand this fact clearly. Let's show that sound travels through a medium. We need a small plastic jar with airtight lid, a big piston which is called as pitchkari, molding clay, and a mobile phone. Then take a dry, empty, and transparent plastic jar having an airtight lid. Now you have to remove the lid from the jar. Then take a big piston or pitchkari. Here you are able to see this is the pitchkari in the hands of a person, and carefully make a hole just to fit in the nozzle of the closed piston in the lid. So please make sure that the fitting has to be airtight using clay. This is the clay which we have to put it around our container. Now put a mobile phone playing mild music inside the jar. Then replace the lid on the mouth of the jar. Then taking care that the fitting of the piston doesn't get disturbed. So this is what you have to make sure so that no air can enter inside the jar. So what you are able to see is you must be able to listen to the sound coming out from the mobile phone kept inside the jar. Now simply pull the handle of the piston outwards to its maximum possibility. Pull this with your hand towards its maximum possibility. Then try to listen the sound of the mobile phone. Can you still hear it as clear as earlier? Then close the piston and again listen to the sound. What do you feel? Then repeat the activity 2 or 3 times. Now observations and conclusions are going to be when the piston is pulled out, the sound of the mobile phone becomes faint and faint. And when the piston is closed completely, the sound is heard just like before. What does this show? This shows that sounds need a medium to travel or propagate because when air or a medium is pumped out through the piston, the sound is not transferred to us. And when air is present in the jar, we are able to hear the sound. So that's how what happens in this case. So initially, when the piston was closed, there was air in the jar and the sound of the mobile phone was audible. As we saw that when the piston was closed, there was air in the jar. But when we just pull the piston outwards, what we have done is we have taken out the air from it. From what? From the jar. And the sound from the mobile phone becomes inaudible. Thus, the particles of air are transferring sound of the mobile phone from the jar to our ears. Now let us find out whether the sound can travel through only air or gaseous particles. You must have studied that fish and other aquatic animals send sound signals to communicate with each other. Now let us perform an activity to show that sound can travel through solids. What do you need is a table and a bench. So what you have to do is simply sit on a bench and tap so gently on the table that hardly tapping any sound is audible to you. So what you have to do is you just have to sit inside in the school bench and then tap so gently on the table that hardly any tapping sound is audible to you. Then continue tapping in the same manner and just bend down your head just like here. You have to bend down your heads on the table and just hear the sound. What do you hear at this moment? So on tapping very gently, a loud tapping sound is heard. This is because the sound of the very gentle tapping has traveled through the solid wooden material. I am sure that you must have done this in your school days or you are doing this currently in the school. So this is the property of sound to travel through solids, which probably evolved the famous quote or saying which says that even walls have ears. Making use of this property of sound, let us make a toy telephone at our home. What we need is we need two empty paper cups, a thick cotton thread, and a safety pin. What you have to do is take two paper cups and a long thick cotton thread. So this is our long thick cotton thread. These are two paper cups. Prick the bases of both the cups with the safety pin. You have to put safety pin inside the bases of the cups to make small holes in them. Then pass one end of the thread through the hole in each cup and put a big knot at the end of the thread inside the cup so that the thread doesn't leave the cup. So you have to attach both the cups with the help of this thread. Now your telephone is ready to use. You just have to do one thing. Hold one cup with your hand in front of your mouth and ask a friend to hold the other cup close to here. So as you are able to see, this is near the mouth and this cup is near the ear of other friend. Speak something and find out if your friend heard it. Then just ask her, have you heard something? Then you have to exchange the positions of the cup and bring your cup close to your ear and tell your friend to hold it in front of her mouth and speak something. Then what you are able to see, can you hear her sound? The answer would be yes. So you will be able to listen his or her sound. Precaution. While using this telephone, the thread should not touch any other object and it should not be loose, so it should be completely tightly held. These activities successfully describe that sound can't travel in vacuum. It can travel through all the three states of matter, that is, gases, liquids, and solids. Since gases, liquids, and solids are made up of particles of different materials, they are called as material medium. I hope it is clear to you. Thank you.